And for more on this, we are joined by former special assistant to President Biden and press secretary for First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, Michael LaRosa, and Adam Weiss, a Republican political strategist and CEO of AMW PR. Thank you both for joining us. We will dive right in. So, Michael, I'd like to start with you. If these sanctuary cities are more willing to take migrants, is there an argument that they shouldn't need to stay in border states?
Well, no. I mean, I think like the issue when if we're talking about the issue of Title 42, it's important to remember that this was a 1944 year law providing emergency powers to prevent people with infectious diseases from coming into the United States. This is not an immigration policy. It's a public health protocol. And like all things that related to the pandemic, we have adjusted and readjusted, just like we have with strict testing and masks and staying 6 feet apart. Now it's time to lift Title 42, which again, does not affect immigration policy. It does not affect the number of migrants coming across the border or the influx or the crowding of cities like El Paso. It is a public health mechanism and used under emergency power situations.
All right. So, Adam, there have been criticisms that Republicans haven't offered solutions. So what solutions are Governor Abbott and other Republicans offering to the border crisis beyond the busing of migrants?
Well, thanks for having me. We should have, instead of this massive omnibus bill, we gave $45 billion to Ukraine. We needed more border enforcement agents, and we don't have enough. If there's almost 10,000 illegals crossing the border every day, and if Title 42 gets, lifted, it's going to add another 3,000 or 4,000. So this is unbearable right now as a country. We don't have, if we don't have borders, we barely have a country here. This is unbelievable what's happening on the southern border. Jed Johnson, who was secretary under Obama, said years ago, if we had 1,000 people crossing the border, that's very unsustainable as a country. Now we have 10,000 a day crossing. Cold weather. We need to do something. We need more border agents. We need a solution here that both sides need to come together and fix this. This is really a crisis of magnificent proportions.
Okay, so, and I think that's the argument here, and Michael, you touched on that a little bit as well. If Title 42 is ended, and we know that the COVID-19 pandemic has been declared, that we're moving past the pandemic stage of this. However, there is a surge of migrants at the border. So if this is lifted, Title 42, what do you say about this emergency situation, and where do we go from here?
Right. Well, there's no question it has to be addressed. We do. I mean, it is a major problem that we have at our border. But the answer is not to keep Title 42 in place. It is to add more border security, add more funds for Customs and Border Patrol, which the Department of Homeland Security says that's how it wants to be done. That's how it wants to address the border, with new surveillance technology and more money to invest in more border patrol.
All right.
And additionally, I would also say we have a Republican House now coming in January. Hopefully, they will take some of the bipartisan bills that address these issues with immigration policy and work with Democrats and the White House to get something done on this topic.
So, Adam, we have about 30 seconds left, but I'd love to get your response.
At this moment, we need to keep Title 42 because we can't sustain what's happening here. We need to be able to send illegals crossing back into their country. With this, unsustainable amount of people, we need to have this enforcement now because we don't have the border agents to send back. We don't have the mechanisms to, stop all these crossings. So we need something in place to stop all these illegals. Biden got elected. He lifted it on pregnant women. He lifted it on families. He lifted it on, single people. So that's why the influx is so high now. He lifted on a lot of Title 42. So there's only a small little mechanism left that we need to stop all these crossings.
All right. Michael LaRosa, Adam Weiss, an important issue. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.